So I get this question all the time, guys, about what is it shape wise that I like to wear on my hats. So speaking of straws, uh, and speaking of felt, I wear the same thing for the most part. You do a brick crown with kind of a catch-all, JB wider square front, right? So I'm saying that we're gonna shape one up for y'all today. We've got a brand new 8120 from American Hat Company here, brand new, literally fresh out the box. And we're going to show y'all how we do this. So we're going to go brick crown. Some people call it a UN. Some people call it Canadian. I call it a brick. That's what I've called it for over a decade. We're going to throw one in here for y'all. And then we're going to do like just kind of our standard JB brim, about 9-ish inches or so. We're going to take probably about, inch and a half up. So some might call it medium size. I don't like them real short because then everything starts looking real broad. So we're going to do something fairly moderate. So let's get to it. So this is a 7.5. So I will try this on for y'all. It is a little small. I do have a large head. So plenty of heat there. Gonna come in, pull our center line, and all I'm doing here is making sure I've got the same amount of hat on both sides of this crease. It's easy to tell because one side might be, where the dome is, one side might be a little higher or leaning, or you just got more width there. So pretty easy to tell. Look in there. The sweatbands will not always be, sewed in perfectly. But yeah, so center line, of course, to start with. Come back in, make our eye. We go about a 3-finger brick. So if you tell your hat shapers, I want a 3-finger brick. Some people like them real square. They go like 4, and sometimes they're almost too wide where you literally get no dimple. I like a dimple. I like something flat. So we're gonna come back again, eye the back of it, and then once we have that, we can connect our eye. So there's still plenty of heat on this, and you're literally making that big rectangle. And that big rectangle gives us our brick overall shape, right? So we'll come back, dimple. I try not to make this crease line up here real tight. I don't want it pinched off. That'll eventually, it's gonna get more pinched anyways. So just a nice roll, something almost, I like to put my finger back up in there and it be about, the width of my finger. Come back, other dimple. Same thing, about a finger width in there. Touch up that other side. And then now we gotta pop our center back out. I've seen this before. Heat. All I'm gonna do is take kind of my 2 knuckles there and just push that through. And just try not to connect it, but you're kind of pushing it into, you're almost making another crease in here, opposite of this, right? Push that in there and that gives it a lot of stability, right? Now we got our square there. Now we go to the brim. So it's just a JB brim, 9 inches, medium size. We'll come in about right there. Dead on the money, 9. So I always start there. Some people don't. Some people do something else. But I'm a very numerical person, and I like to make sure that my points are squared away there. That looks real funny, obviously, and we're gonna roll that down. Some people don't like doing this because then they struggle getting the front of the brim down. I am not one of those people. Come back, make sure you get a good amount of heat on this, because we're going to put a little bit of pressure on this. We're going to work this front down. And as we're working this front down, we're setting this crease. This is what sets our height, right? So the deeper you go out, the shorter it is, right? And then that gives us our height on our side here, right? So I like kind of medium sides. Something else that'll induce the sides is I like a pretty good roll in the back. So, and these hats are spongy, so that, you know, me pinching on that might look bad on camera, but I promise you it's not near as bad as what you think it is, because these hats have a little bit of sponge to them, so they're gonna bounce back. So we got our sides kind of set there for the most part. Now we're gonna finish getting this front down. Sometimes you'll hear it here, hold on. Oh, maybe not. Sometimes you get that wire to pop, because what you're doing, you're flipping that wire over the other side of the crease. So I think we've done it, guys. You know, I might play with this just a little bit, but for the most part, backs off just a hair here. For the most part, this is exactly how I wear it. You know, 9 inches across the front, kind of medium sides. And that's what we do with a little bit of a roll back. So you could say these sides are shorter. Depends on what aspect of the industry you're in. But because I've got the back rolled a little bit more, it'll tend to, like I said, it's a little small. But because I got the back rolled, it'll tend to look a little more medium. But like I said, we'll probably straighten this up a little bit, but this is the overall look, guys. So brick crown, JB brim, 9 inches on the whip.